Hi, this is Mayor Packer. It's Wednesday, September 6th at 7:21 p.m. And today I am going to talk about affordable housing. And I want to thank many sources around the internets where I was able to compile all of this information, put it together, and you might want to sit down. It's kind of long, it's kind of dry, but I am now going to start reading. So what is all of this hubbub about affordable housing, COA, Mount Laurel, and how does it impact our town? Well, it started in 1975 when a group of plaintiffs challenged the zoning ordinance of Mount Laurel Township, New Jersey, saying that it effectively excluded low and moderate income individuals from obtaining housing. Thus began Mount Laurel 1. The New Jersey Supreme Court ruled in favor of the plaintiffs, thus leading to lawsuits in numerous municipalities. Little, if any, affordable housing resulted from these suits, and when many of the cases were under appeal, in 1983, the New Jersey Supreme Court decided to tweak the initial Mount Laurel doctrine in an effort to add to its effectiveness. This is what is commonly called Mount Laurel 2. The tweaks included the naming of a small number of trial court judges who would have jurisdiction over large areas so that they'd gain a specialized knowledge and consistent approach to decision-making. They expanded the ability of trial judges to compel action, including the so-called builder's remedy, which would allow a successful builder or builder plaintiff to build at a higher density than would otherwise be allowed if a sufficient portion was allocated to affordable housing. They appointed special masters, who were usually licensed professional planners, to work with the judges. They worked with the judges and the towns. They set rules to protect a compliant municipality from further affordable housing litigation. In reaction to Mount Laurel 2, in 1985, the New Jersey legislature passed the Fair Housing Act. The idea was that there was some constitutional obligation for all municipalities to provide some amount of affordable housing. The legislation created the Council on Affordable Housing, or COA, which would establish the obligation of each municipality with regard to the number of units and how the obligation could be fulfilled. Any municipality that participated in the COA process prior to being sued was provided with protection from litigation, most importantly the builder's remedy. Any municipalities involved in litigation when the Fair Housing Act was passed would in most cases transfer the litigation to COA. Regulations were developed, and municipalities that chose to participate came up with compliance plans to meet the criteria set out. When a plan was accepted, the municipality was protected from related litigation. Some municipalities chose to roll the dice, choosing not to be bound to a plan that would potentially force zoning with extra housing over and above what they otherwise would have planned, feeling the likelihood of any actual lawsuit was sufficiently low. In 2010, Governor Christie tried but failed to disband COA, and in 2013, the Supreme Court ordered the Council to write new guidelines to increase the required number of units. After COA missed two deadlines, the Council was disbanded, and the lower courts were tasked with picking up COA's responsibility on a case-by-case basis. In early 2017, a decision was made about the so-called gap period from 1999 to 2015, stating that municipalities were responsible to provide housing for families that had a need during those years. Many argued against this outcome, stating that COA was completely ineffective during those years, so the municipalities should not include those years in any calculations. There is still much confusion, though, on how this and all related calculations should be done. Currently, many municipalities, such as Glen Rock, are working with their own planners, their court master, and the courts to find an agreeable solution. Once a plan is drawn up, it is submitted to the Fair Share Housing Center. They're a non-profit organization that litigates against towns in enforcement of fair housing development. The special master, in essence, acts as a mediator between a municipality and fair share housing, with the ultimate goal being a settlement. The settlement discussions cannot be discussed publicly, as the entire process is essentially a litigation, since it is being handled by the courts. In Glen Rock, we are currently in settlement talks, and as such, we continue to have immunity from builder's remedy lawsuits. Our current immunity runs through the end of October, as judges typically extend immunity in 3-month intervals to assure that municipalities continue to make forward progress. We have worked hard since early 2016 to build a plan that we feel is in the best interest of our town and will satisfy both the expectations of the Fair Share Housing Center and our residents. We hope to have a lot more to say about this in coming months. So I want to thank you for listening, and I'm going to go prepare for my fantasy football draft, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful night.